So, what's the difference between acceptance and forgiveness? Let's talk about that. Hey guys, Randy here with The Living Adventure. Hey, hope you're having a great day, guys, and let's hope these videos are helping you in some way, shape, or form. And I know reaching out in social media doesn't connect with everybody, and my goal is if I can just connect with one person to help them, then that would be life altering for me and hopefully for them. So yeah, what's the difference between acceptance and forgiveness? We hear this a lot, bantered around that, we have to forgive people. We got to learn to forgive. And there's some controversy over that, whether you're forgiving a person, which actually paves the way for them to feeling that what they've done is acceptable and therefore they can carry on doing it. But it really boils down to what you, as an individual, see that word describing, right? And words can have any meaning that you want to attach to them. The dictionary will tell you one thing, Google will tell you another thing, and each individual will have their own concept of what a word actually means to them. But in a nutshell, if we can have a look at the differences, like let's say that forgiveness is about letting go. Right, and saying that I'm willing to forgive everything that's happened in the past, and I'm letting it go so that I can move on to the future. That's a good thing, So forgiveness in that respect is a good thing. But it's also acceptance, right? And so if we can accept the fact that things have happened in our past and move on to the future, then really they're one and the same, are they not? I think when it comes down to people's misunderstanding is when we see forgiveness as that first analogy that I said, where we're permitting them to get away with something. A lot of people have an issue with that, right? Bad behavior should not be allowed to be gotten away with. They should be held accountable and responsible for that behavior. And by forgiving them, if you're using it in that context, you're almost paving the way for them to get away with it. Accepting as well that this is the way they are may not allow them or the respect, or it's not respect, but allow them to get away with it, because what you're doing is you're just accepting the fact that that's the way they are, and you may or may not want to have anything to do with that. And so it really comes to a gray area when it comes to the two words, acceptance and forgiveness, and how you use them. And you can get into discussions with people and they get into almost argumentative as to whether you're forgiving or you're accepting. The reality of it is what is the terminology behind the words that you're using? And if the terminology lines up where, we're accepting / forgiving somebody in the form of letting it go, saying, what, let them be them, let the past be the past, and I'm going to now move on. That's okay. It doesn't matter the words we use, it's the concept behind the words that we're trying to achieve. But if we're using that term forgiveness to accept their behavior, then that's where we can have a challenge, because unacceptable behavior is unacceptable behavior. And that's where we get into the term acceptance. We don't accept it, right? So anyway, guys, I hope this helps. I know it's a battle, and hey, I want to also add, though, like there's a thought that just popped into my head, so, don't shoot me. When we have done things in ourselves, like in the past, that, we don't really accept, we've recognized that we've done some bad behavior, or we recognize that we've made mistakes, and it was because of our behavior that those mistakes had, happened. Is it okay to accept and forgive ourselves and move on? Yes, as long as we are correcting that behavior. And so having that internal acceptance that, yeah, hey, this is the way I was at one time in my life, and it wasn't a good thing, but I identify that, and now I'm changing. I'm working hard to change that. then I'm going to move forward, as long as you don't go back there and repeat that behavior. The challenge is getting other people to accept and forgive you if they recognize that you're working hard in that change. A lot of people don't. They won't. They hold on to that past you, and they won't forgive or accept anything else. And that becomes a challenge, right? But work internally. If you've done some things in the past that you need to fix them and move on. Forgive yourself and accept the fact that that's the way it was, and you got a better life ahead of you now. I hope this one helps, guys. Cheers.